true identity is about to shine through like never before. Now, how is your true identity about to shine? Well, the layers that were on top of you are about to be peeled off. You have the option, you have the choice to take certain mindsets, certain perceptions, certain viewpoints that have been projected onto you. You have the option, you have the choice to take them off. You don't have to be who other people said you are. You don't have to do or fit into the box of what other people told you should be doing and fitting in the box of. No, baby. The freedom of choice is all yours. Now I have this very interesting dream, okay? Very interesting dream that's going to help illustrate everything I just said. And it was a dream about authenticity, okay? Being the true self. Stop denying what you want to do. Stop thinking that you're always wrong because someone else may not agree with what you do or what you say or how you act, okay? You have had a certain set of experiences in your past that have led you to make the decisions that you make, to react to certain things in a way that only you would choose to react because based on your past experiences, this is what led up to you coming to these conclusions, right? Have you ever heard people say, oh, if I was in that situation, I would have did this and I would have did that. Well, that's only because the set of experiences you had leading up to that point would cause for you to make that choice. Therefore, if another person has not had those experiences, they had a different set of experiences and they made a different choice, it's because of what they know. You only do what you know to do in the moment based on your past experiences. And some of you guys have been told, well, you're wrong for the way you reacted, or you're wrong for the way that you've done things. You're wrong for wearing that. Oh, you're in this group where you're supposed to walk like a Russian soldier and do it like this and do it like that. And some of y'all have been made to feel bad for things that you've done based on what you know. So this dream is really going to help you understand why your choices are important and how even sometimes you don't even notice that other people may be putting layers on you that don't allow for you to be your true, authentic self comfortably, okay? So I'm gonna break down this dream and then we're gonna get into some of the special elements of this dream and how they can apply to your life and how your authentic self will come through and shine once you realize what's been added on that don't really belong. Let's get into this dream and then we're gonna come back and get into the messages. So you go to the grocery store, and when you go to the grocery store, you get a cart. Now, upon walking into the grocery store, you notice that there are some people at this table who were waiting for you, okay? It's people that you know, it's old friends, it's family, but you're the only person with a cart. All of these people have been sitting on the table waiting for you to arrive so you can go shopping. So as you begin to go shopping, people are putting things in your cart. And as you're shopping, and they're not putting in groceries, they're putting in clothes, okay? Even though it's a grocery store, people are picking clothes to go into your cart. Now, you get to a table that somebody in your family had sitting there with a bunch of merchandise, a bunch of items. And this person is insisting that you take these clothes, right? They really want you to have these clothes. In fact, they told you this particular shirt looked really good, and they said a person's name. Now, it just so happened that the person's name that they said was an open enemy of yours. And they're insisting, listen, that person looked really good on it. And you're thinking to yourself, man, not even my worst enemy want this, but you took it anyway. Now, the scene switches to where you are in this dressing room. And as you are in the dressing room, there are a whole bunch of new people, right? A new group of friends, people that you just met, people who you know through other people, but it's a different type of crowd. And they're having fun, they're trying on clothes, and everybody's laughing, having a good time. And the people who were from your past are insisting, try these on, try these clothes on. So you took the shirt that the person told you, listen, your enemy, they look good in that shirt. You put the shirt on, you threw on a wig that was in the cart, and you put on a few other pieces of clothing that were thrown into your cart. Now, as you are approaching this new group of people, you ask them, how do I look? And everybody's underwhelmed, like, And then one person said, look in the mirror. So you walked over to the mirror and you had on this poncho. The poncho was really big, it was oversized. You had on this long, dark wig, but you still had on your original pants and your original shoes. Now, as you're standing in the mirror, the person who gave you the poncho was like, oh yeah, that look good. But as you're standing in the mirror, you notice, listen, this thing is unflattering. It's too big, it don't show my curves, I don't like the way that it fit. And you didn't want to hurt the person's feelings, so you kept it on and you tried to find things about it. Now it actually looked like a potato sack. It was khaki color and the material was kind of itchy and it just wasn't right. But again, you don't want to hurt the person's feelings. But all of the new people are looking like, And even though they didn't say they didn't like it, you can feel it. But the whole point of them telling you to look in the mirror was so that you can choose and decide how it looked for yourself. In the meantime, the person who gave it to you was like, oh yeah, girl, that look good, that look good. So then you go and you pick up another item out of the cart. And again, this is not your original clothing, it was something that was passed on to you. And all of the clothes that ended up in your cart and that you were trying on, these were all hand-me-downs, okay? Several other people had owned these pieces before they got to you, even though you was at the store where you could pick out brand new stuff, okay? So you got one group of people insisting that you take their hand-me-downs, and you got one group of people asking you to decide, if you look in the mirror, would you really want to wear that? And as you're sitting there looking at all of these hand-me-down clothes, you're trying to decide, is this really what I want? Or do I want something new? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, you heard the dream, and I know some of you guys can pretty much already tell like what this is talking about, especially because I told you this is a dream about authenticity. In the last video that I posted, I talked about you about to blow up, right? Some of y'all going to the music industry, you're going into the entertainment industry. You are going into these industries where they call for you to be authentic, your authentic self. You ever watch people on social media and see in the comments, they say, oh, I really like them because they just keep it real. Oh, they just they self. I can never be that bold. I can never say that, you know, and it's true. Like these people really do just say what they want and they feel what they want. And there's a lot of people who say, no, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be like that. It's a lot of people that are going to tell them no. But your choice moving forward into this brand new life, do you want to please other people or do you want to satisfy your truest, highest, most authentic self? And that's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? These messages that I'm about to be giving you are going to help you really take a look in the mirror, right? You're going to come across some new mirrors and you're going to be able to notice, wait a minute, I don't know if I like that or not. Who gave me that? Where did this come from? And you're going to see some of the stuff, the way you react, the way that you think, the way that you feel, some of these things have been planted in your mind and you may not have noticed. And because these things have taken root, your true authenticity has been suppressed, just maybe even a little bit, okay? But these are the tools that you want to need in order to really be effective in these industries and in these new places that your feet are about to be planted in, okay? So you're going to take a look at the screen. Of course, we're going to start here. You're going to pick some clothing, a piece of clothing, and then we're going over to Patreon. We're going to be extending these vibes, okay? Because it's really, really important. I don't think y'all quite understand. For some of you guys, some of the main reasons why you may not have seen the progress that you wanted to see is because there are some things or maybe even some projections that have been put on you to kind of hold you back. And if you can break free from those chains, you can break through and break into some of the industries that you've been trying to get into for a very, very long time, okay? So right here on YouTube, I want you to choose a piece of clothing and I'll see y'all in the messages. All right, so you chose number 1. I need you to be in tune with the part of the dream where you walk into this grocery store, but there was already a group of people waiting for you. Now, I think it's interesting to note how these people were waiting for you and they didn't even have a cart. They wasn't going shopping. This is representing other people want to shop on your behalf. Other people want to give you their opinion. They want to give you their judgment, okay? Some of you guys may have people from your past who are, in your present now, but they've been there your whole life. And it's always that energy of, I've been waiting on you at the door, right? You have a choice to walk into this grocery store with 1,000+ items still wrapped up, right? Ripping out the plastic. You was about to get something brand new. But before you could go shopping for things that were brand new, there was already a group of people waiting there for you. What does this mean? Some of y'all have been trying to adopt a new mindset. You've been trying to go shopping in these departments of personality and what do I want to change about myself. I have a choice. I can pick and choose what I want. However, when you have the opportunity to change your mind or to change what it is that you don't like, there's always somebody there to tell you, no, don't do that. Ooh, you shouldn't do that. They know your past. They know what you've been through. They know how you operate and how you responded. And before you even get a chance to change it up, before you even get a chance to decide for yourself, there's always seems to be somebody there who wants to give you their opinion, wants to give you their impression. They want to give you their old clothes, right? They want to hand down old mindsets. It's interesting because we was all born with free will, but it's interesting how some people really feel like, listen, you have to do it the way that I do it. You have to think the way that I think. We all have different backgrounds and different experiences, like I was telling you earlier, that lead you to react the way you react and choose the things that you choose. And for the life of some people, they just can't understand why you would choose certain industries, why you would pick that grocery item up and put it in your cart. So before you can even get in there and start shopping, they was already waiting to give you a piece of their mind, to give you what they think you should have, to give you what they think would be best for you, okay? There's a lot of projection of fear, a lot of projection of wrong, like you're wrong for what you choose. So again, like with this dream, before you can even decide for yourself, you didn't even get to see the options, right? This was some of us, you was born into certain religions, or you was born into certain cultural beliefs. You was born with people who said, this is what you're going to do, this is what you're going to be. Listen, you come from a long line of lawyers, so you're going to be a lawyer too, even though your heart may say, I want to go do something else. And it may be far off from what you were born into, right? Far off from what you was told or what you was taught or what you always believed. You may be in the process of changing your mind, because in order to get to where you're trying to go, it's going to require you to have a brand new mindset. And so as long as those people from the past are holding you to your past, you're going to continue to walk through this store with all this brand new stuff, but they're going to be the ones filling your cart. If you chose number one, and this can be, it don't have to be like people who are close to you. It can be neighborhood, it can be environment, where it's like, listen, everybody in this environment, this is what happens, okay? I gave y'all the crabs in the barrel video, where I talked about Crabville, where everybody's the same size, they have the same mind, they do the same thing. But have you ever even seen it like in the hood setting, where some people may feel like, listen, this is what happens in the hood, but it'd be that one person who rise up above, out of what happened in that neighborhood, and it becomes something great. They become something amazing. Why? Because they thought differently. And this is what you're being told to do. I know you got a past. I know you got people in the past who love you, and they only want the best for you. So the route that they want to take you on, the route they want you to go, is because of what they know, what they've experienced. But you're about to bust out and do something brand new that ain't never been done before by the people who are around you. Some of you guys are going to do things, you're going to jump off the edge, and you're going to live to tell about it. But if you choose to let other people fill your cart with their hand-me-downs, this is the way that it's always been, this is what we've always done. If you let them fill your cart, your choices will be non-existent. You will have to choose to take whatever they give you, okay? It was something I wanted to go do. And someone else said, I don't want you to do that because that's scary. You could do this and this could happen. They tell me all these things that could happen. But then I did it anyway. And none of those things happened. And that's when I was saying to myself, man, those weren't my fears, those were your fears. Those were your precautionary measures that you would have taken. And yet still, I went and did it with no fear, and everything turned out just fine. Now again, this is not to negate and say that people, around you, people from your past, your family, that they don't love you, they don't want the best for you. But sometimes you got to stop listening to people who ain't never took that leap of faith. You got to stop letting people fill your mind, your heart, and your soul with the limitations that they have. Don't let people project their fears, because when you walk into that grocery store, they was waiting on you at the door. And it's their fears waiting for you at the door. Their outcomes that are waiting for you. Their precautions that are waiting for you. But the question is, what do you think? What do you choose? Ladies and gentlemen who chose number 1, you are about to walk into this grocery store. You are about to walk into a place that you have the opportunity to choose anything you want. This grocery store represents life. And you have the ability to choose all brand new stuff. So who's waiting for you at the door, blocking the opportunity for you to go shopping? Who is it in your life that sees your empty cart and they say, you know what, you gotta fill it with this. You know what, why don't you take that, and dumping their own stuff into yours? You have your own life, you have your own dreams, you have your own personality, and your true authentic self is pleading with you, please, let's do something new. Let's do something that ain't never been done before. Let's do something that everybody at this table who's waiting for me, let's do something that scares them. And then live to tell about it. Okay, number 1, it's your choice. Authenticity is a choice. You can choose to let the other people choose for you, or you can choose to break free and do you. This is the only way. Ladies and gentlemen, some of y'all feel like, well, maybe if I just, do a little bit of this and do it her way and then his way and then add a little bit of my way, then I can do it. And I'm telling you today, that's not going to work. If you really want to break into this thing, if you really want to be that person who is in your imagination, the vision that God gave you, if you really want to be that person, it's going to require you to do it your way. And your way has never been done before, because your way can only be done by you. Now, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not preaching to you. I hope I'm not making you feel like, this is your final warning type energy, but for real, it's coming down to the nitty gritty. You have to choose, you or them. That grand, beautiful future or a repeat of the past. The choice is yours, number 1. Okay, so make your choice, choose you, and let's get to number 2. You know how people say, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy. This is the vibes that I get for you, number 2. Some of y'all lives, you're unfolding like a beautiful flower, and you're moving into this brand new direction. But what you don't know is that on the side or in the past or in the area where you're not necessarily aware, not even your worst enemy wants a mindset, job, occupation, any of that that's been passed along. There has been something moving around, like in your family, in your neighborhood community. It could be a mindset, it could be a personality trait, again, job, occupation, something that they want you to do that not even your worst enemy want. Recall the part in the dream where I told you that there was this table set, and it was one person. They had this table, and they had all of these different pieces of clothing on it, right? And they first gave it to your enemy. They gave it to your enemy, and your enemy didn't even want it. Okay, so they took it off and they gave it back, right? The man tried it on, and when they looked in the mirror, they said, nah, this is not me. And they took it off and they gave it back. You know how they say God will prepare a table in the presence of your enemies? Okay, some people have tables, but don't nobody want what they got on their table. Okay, so this person had a table, but you didn't necessarily want what they had. Your enemy didn't even want what they had. The person picked up a shirt and they insisted this would look good on you. So for some of you guys, there may be that one person in life like, well, why don't you just go and get that job? Well, why don't you just not do that or move to that place? Move right there instead. It's like somebody in your life wants a say-so so bad. Somebody wants you to come to their table and use what they have so bad. There is even this impression like somebody was trying to build a table and make it appealing so that, people will come to my table. Look, this is the table that was prepared in front of my enemies. And it's like nobody wants that. No, not even the enemies want that. So some of you guys may be in now, or may be about to walk into something that you really don't want, but you don't want to hurt this person's feelings. But this next season of your life, this chapter might be called "Man, F Your Feelings on God." Not you, but you might be having to tell somebody, and you ain't got to say that, but in your mind and in your heart, you're gonna have to develop this thing where it's like, listen, I care about you, I love you, but I love me too. And the season of people pleasing to spare people's feelings is over. If you don't want it, you don't want it. You don't want to wear it, don't wear it. You don't want to think like that, don't think like that. You ready to go into something that ain't nobody never done before? Go ahead. But there is always a table that somebody wants you to come indulge in. But you're about to have your own table that God is preparing. Not just for, you and the people you love, but in the presence of your enemies. So what has been presented to you lately that you just can't get with it? But to spare somebody's feelings, you might suppress your feelings or put your feelings to the side. You might take what you like and suppress it to appease someone else. You're being told if you're going to break into these industries, if you're going to go really, really far in a direction that no one has ever been before, the people pleasing is going to have to stop. The sitting at people's table that your own enemies wouldn't even sit in front of. Because sometimes you're like, ooh, yeah, I wish my enemy would go over there and be like that. And then they don't even want it. It's like if your enemy was smart enough to pass up on that thing because it wasn't part of the true authentic self, then what's stopping you? Okay? Some of you guys feel guilty about rejecting things that other people don't want either. And that's the thing. Like some people's like, listen, I need a protege. I need somebody to follow in my footsteps. I need somebody to do it the way that I did it and like what I like, so I don't sit at this table alone all by myself. Some of y'all don't even realize that the intention behind why somebody may want you to do something is not because they really want you to do it. It's because they don't want to have to do it alone, or they don't want to have to sit there alone. Listen, I like this shirt. This is cute on me. I need somebody to agree. Nobody agrees. Not even the enemies agree. This is the only thing you and your enemy probably agree on. That's us. They don't like it, right? But this person has to feel a sense of belonging. They have to feel a sense of, I chose something good too. In other words, these are the choices that person made. And sometimes people feel bad about the choices they made because they could have chose something brand new in the grocery store, but they chose to sit at that table and choose what they chose. And so to feel good about their choices, they want to bring somebody else along to make those choices too, so they don't feel so bad. Well, it's 2 of us monkeys in the zoo. Oh, now it's 3 of us. It even said in the Bible, like if 2 people disagree, find somebody else to agree, right? So somebody in your life, somebody that you may people please to, they're looking for somebody else to agree. Like, please go the route that I went. And the question is, well, how did that route end up? Because you're trying to mix and you begging somebody to do it your way, and you don't even like your way. And you have to be careful of this, chosen ones. Like, I hope I'm making sense. Sometimes people want you to do what they did so they can feel better about what they did. Like, these are the choices that I made. I'm not necessarily happy, but if I can get somebody else to do what I did too, then it could be 2 of us unhappy people. It could be 3 of us unhappy people, okay? Does that make sense? Because people honestly can see that you're heading in a new direction. They can see you're in this grocery store. You have all these new opportunities. You have all these different trails that you can take. And I didn't choose those. This may be a person who let other people choose for them. Remember, these are hand-me-down clothes. This is speaking symbolically of maybe mindsets that have been passed down through generations. Belief systems that have been passed down through generations. And this person took what somebody else said and they didn't do what they wanted to do. They did according to how they were told to do it. And now they're sitting there, I'm not happy with my choices. So since I'm not happy with my choices, I'm going to project my choices onto someone else and try to present it to you as if this is great. Knowing deep down inside that they're not happy. And so sometimes in order to make themselves feel better, if you do it too, and end up doing nothing great, then that'll make me feel better about not doing nothing great. Be careful, chosen ones, because sometimes the only reason people are giving you clothes, aka personality traits, mindsets, choices, is because they feel bad about what they did. And if I could just get somebody else to do it too, I'll feel better about what I did. Chosen ones, you have a whole grocery store full of options. We are living in a brand new world. It is a brand new time. The way technology has taken over, social media, all of the advancements and everything in all these different areas, you can do it. And maybe you have people around you who don't want to get left behind. But the choice is, are you going to stay behind to people please for somebody else? Or are you going to take all your brand new choices and choose what's best for you, for your personality trait, for the future you see for yourself, and the way you feel in your heart? What you got matters. How you feel matters. The choices that are presented to you that the other people in your past didn't get, that's too bad. So be clear on why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you're doing something to appease somebody else, your authentic self is suffering. If you're doing something to make somebody else feel better about what they didn't get and the choices they didn't have, you're dumbing down yourself, and this is not how you break through. This is not how you break into whatever it is you're trying to get into, okay? For this next season, people who chose number 2, you better stop people pleasing, okay? Let's get to the last one. All right, if you chose number 3, you got the new crowd, right? Some of you guys are about to have interactions, connections. You're about to meet people who are different. And they're not different because they're different. It's different for you because you're moving into something that you've never been a part of before. Or maybe you were a part of it in your past and then you kind of stepped away from it, and now that you go back, it's like, this is a whole new world. In the dream, as you recall, there was a new group of friends. So there was the old group of friends, that was the old, the family members you've known your whole life, the friends you've known your whole life, okay, even the enemies from your past, they were all in one group. But when the scene switched to the dressing room and there was this new group of people, right, it's kind of like your past versus your future. And I hate to break it to you, number 3, but it's 2 different groups of people. You know how they say everybody can't go with you? This is that part where the old group ain't working as far as where you're going in your future. Again, like I told you, nobody in your past group is going where you're going. They're not going to ever do what you're about to go do, okay? So in order for you to really embrace this new life, there's coming a new culture, a new people, a new group of people, new community. All of these things are brand new to you. And you can't take none of these people over there. It's interesting in a dream because you had on the old clothes going to a new group. The old group said, hey, that looks good, we like that. The new group gave you a choice. Look in the mirror. And this is what I titled the dream. I got dream journal, I know y'all can't see that, but I titled all of my dreams, and this one is called Look in the Mirror, okay? It's almost as if the new group, the new crowd, they don't want to give you their opinion on how they view you. They want to view you how you view yourself. So instead of telling you, when you said, how do I look? Instead of telling you, oh, you look good. Oh, we don't like that. They just got quiet. And you can feel they were underwhelmed. And they said, look in the mirror. They want you to see for yourself. Does that look good to you? Or does that look good because the people pleasing? Okay? You can't bring the old people to the new group, right? They say you can't put new wine into old wineskin, otherwise it will burst. Okay? So you can't take this old group, this old mindset, these old clothes, these old personality traits into the future because it'll bust. It won't work. Okay? What may look good to the people of the past, what may sound good, what may feel good from your past is not going to look and feel and sound good in the future. right? It's kind of like a glow up. If you get a glow up, wearing your old clothes is not going to work. You're going to have to buy some new clothes. You're going to have to put on something new, okay? And this is what this is kind of representing. I hope I'm making sense because it's kind of hard to explain. It's like on one side, it may have worked. But over here in this brand new world, in the industry that you're moving into, that way of thinking is not going to work. That way of life is not going to work. People pleasing is not going to work either way. Because they didn't people please you. They didn't say, oh yeah, girl, that look good, even if it was ugly. No, they said, what do you think? And that whole look in the mirror. Some of y'all are really going to have to be real with yourself. Being real with yourself is what's going to bring forth that authenticity. When you looked in the mirror, you realized, oh my God, this is too big. It's oversized. It's not my style. It doesn't show my curves. It doesn't show my shape. What does that mean? The curves in your shape represent what you really look like, your true authentic self, and those curves represent to me like the curveballs about you, the interesting things. Some of you guys have very, very, very interesting things. Now watch this. The person from your past who put on this poncho, who gave you this poncho, who looked like a potato sack, they know it don't show your curves. They know it don't show your shape. They know it's not flattering. But they want you to hide all that. Because maybe their mindset is, you're not supposed to be that bold. You're not supposed to be that interesting. And they see that. This is why I told you in number 2, you got to be careful. Because the reason why people may be insistent when you taking something is not for your greatest good, is to hide some of the best parts of y'all. Like I told you in the other video, some of y'all, the best parts of you have been hidden up until a certain point because the people from the past aren't supposed to benefit from it. The future people are. And the future people are able to recognize, listen, B, you need to look in the mirror. Because that there, they already know, I don't like that. But they're not going to give you their opinion. They're going to let you form your own opinion. But the people from the past, they may be, low-key jealous. Low-key, ooh, I see you got some nice curves. Ooh, and remember, when I'm saying curves, I'm talking about interesting things about you. The interesting parts of your personality, right? Some of y'all got nice boobs that sit up, right? This is representing like big, bold personality or things about you that make you really, really appealing, right? Things that, make you sexy or things that make you stand out, okay? It's like, let's cover that up. Here, take this big old poncho potato sack. And you know what they say? When you look good, you feel good. So if I can throw something on top of you to make you not look good, then essentially I can make you not feel good. And if you don't think you look good and you're not feeling good, then maybe, just maybe, we can dumb you down and hold you back. You gotta be careful, okay? Be careful why people want you to do what they want you to do, as opposed to why you just won't go out and do what you want to do, okay? Also, when you looked in the mirror, you had on a wig, right? And we're going to get to the wig on Patreon. But understand, there were certain parts of you that were yours, you were able to keep, which is your pants and your shoes. That means something very special. We're going to talk about that on Patreon. But that wig, with the combination of that poncho, on top of clothes that you already had on. Remember, when you tried on this poncho, this potato sack, you tried it on over your own shirt, which means you're still there. What you have is still there. It's just been hidden. It's been blocked. And the question that the future community, the future self, the future life that you long to have, the question that is being asked is, when you look in the mirror, do you like what you see? Or do you only like what you see because it pleases someone else? If you ever want to break through to be the truest, highest, most authentic self and live the best life possible, you're going to have to love what you see in the mirror. And it's not just the physical part, because remember, this is a symbolic dream. And it's about spiritually. Is that really my belief system? Or am I trying to please somebody else? Do I really think that being bold and being loud is a problem, or is it a problem because somebody else don't like it? I'll give you an example. Somebody was going in, somebody always got something to say about black women. Somebody was going in on black women, and I've heard this my whole life. Black women too loud, black women too ghetto, eyelashes like spider webs, weave down to the floor. And I've heard that a lot growing up. So I would oftentimes hide those parts of myself. If I'm loud, I try to get quiet, or, don't get your nails too long. Ooh, don't wear your eyelashes too. And then after a while, I had to realize, baby, I'm black. I can't help it. It's who I am. I wake up every day and I'm a black woman. And I know to some people, that's a crime. So pretend to be something else. Pretend to be something you're not. And I had to wake up one day and rip off that mask and say, no, baby, I'm black, I'm a woman, and I love it. I love each and every single inch of, if I'm ghetto, if I'm loud, who cares? I don't care. I love it. And as long as I love it, as long as I like what I see, I'm good. But it took a long time to get to that, especially when you grow up around particularly men who go in on how terrible and horrible black women are. But if I move to a certain area, if I'm around a certain group, then I fit in totally fine. I like what I see in the mirror. And that has helped me to break barriers. So the question to you is, do you like what you see in the mirror? Do you like your personality? Then flaunt it. You like your body? Do what you want with your body. You like your attitude? Show your attitude. Whatever group, whatever community you're a part of, whatever pieces of you have been diminished or talked about and you try to hide them to save face for other people, forget all that. Because this next season, it requires you to love exactly who you are, exactly the way God made you, whether other people like it or not. It's just going to be too bad in this next season, okay? So if you chose number 3, the question, what do you think about you? What do you see in the mirror? Are you truly just yourself, or are you a combination of someone else's wig, someone else's poncho, someone else's stuff? This is the question, and this is going to be the thing that determines whether you stay behind or you blast off ahead. Ask yourself and be real. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be taking this over to Patreon, okay? There's some other elements of this dream that I really need to break down to you guys. And remember, man, it's all about the authenticity. We moving into a new chapter. This new chapter is called F They Feelings, F What They Think, even if it's people close. You can love them, you can play pity pat all you want to. But at the end of the day, when you look in that mirror, the physical mirror, the spiritual mirror, the mirror of your personality, your attitude, how you are, how you come across, if you don't love it, then you need to leave it. And you only need to pick up the things that are going to let your true, authentic self shine, okay? So that's what I give you guys over here. Click the link in the description box and head on over to Patreon right now so we can continue with these vibes. But if this is where it ends for you, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you guys as some of my subscribers. And yeah, again, be authentic, be yourself. This next chapter requires that, all right? So that's what I get. Thank you guys so much once again, and I'll see y'all in the next video.